All right, welcome back, Libra. This is your May 2021 Love Tarot and Horoscope reading. I'm Ryan with Arrows of Love. Welcome back to my channel. First and foremost, if you like these videos and would like to see more of them, please click that like button and subscribe. It helps the channel and it's very much appreciated from me. If you're looking for a personal reading, my description box is in the description box below. And just email me and we can set up a personal time to look at your astrology chart and pull some tarot cards. All right, so let's start with the astrology. We are in Taurus season, toward the end of Taurus season. Libra, for you, that is your 8th house. Taurus is 8 signs past Libra. The 8th house is a house of hidden things. It's a house of intimacy, taxes. Tax day is today. I'm doing this on May 17th. It's about insurance. It's about banking other people's money, joint ventures, and karmic debts. It's a house of debts, okay? So think about debts in many different ways. It's debts owed to you and debts owed to other people. But that's kind of the way the 8th house works as a hidden house. So you could be going through some, things could be revealed during this time. Maybe you're dealing with some intimacy matters. Maybe you're just looking at debt restructuring, mortgage refinancing, anything to that effect could definitely have come up over this last month. We are moving into Gemini season on May 21st. The sun will move into Gemini on that day. And for you, Libra, that is your 9th house. Gemini is 9 signs past Libra. The 9th house is a house of good luck. It's a house of optimism. It's a house of higher education and learning, expanding the mind, long distance travel, spirituality, your personal beliefs, your ideals. It's very much a philosophical house. And this makes a nice trine over to you. Gemini is also an air sign, Libra, so these are harmonious energies. The thing is with this particular Gemini season is that Mercury, the messenger planet, is going to be retrograde in Gemini. And Mercury rules Gemini. So communication is going to be really wonky from May 30th through June 22nd. Mercury's already in shadow, which means it's moving through the period by which it's going to retrograde. So if things are kind of slowing down, if communication is getting funky in any certain way, anything regarding your personal beliefs, it could be higher education. Some of you are graduating soon from college or high school, depending on how old you are. Maybe you're taking some classes. Things could be wrapping up during this time, but just be aware communication, technology, travel is going to be a little off for those 3 weeks. Again, that's from May 30th through June 22nd. The thing about this Mercury retrograde that I want people to be aware of is that when it stations retrograde, it's going to be at 24 degrees of Gemini. It's going to be making a square. That's a 90-degree aspect over to nebulous Neptune sitting in Pisces. And for you, Libra, that is your 6th house. Libra or Pisces is 6 signs past Libra. The 6th house has to do with health, work, routine, mundane affairs, service. Ancient astrologers said this is the house of disease. It's also the house of slavery and bondage. So if you feel like you're a slave to anything or you're bound to anything, these things could come up, especially with nebulous Neptune. So it's something that you might not even see. This also points to some disillusionment or some deception. So you got to be really careful around the 30th for anything that kind of seems out of the ordinary, because chances are it's not on the up and up. Jupiter, the planet of expansion, growth, karmic justice, religion, rules the universe essentially, or not the universe, but at least our solar system. It's the biggest planet. Just moved into Pisces, and this is extremely beneficial. So Jupiter is the ancient ruler of Pisces. It just moved into Pisces on May 13th and is going to be there until July 28th, until it retrogrades back into Aquarius, into your 5th house of children, romance, and fun. But the thing is, if you're having some issues with health, if you're having issues with work or routine, or maybe you want to do some body maintenance, Jupiter is going to help you out with that. It's a benefic energy. It's the great benefic of our solar system. Health issues could come up and then resolve very quickly because Jupiter is sitting there. If things are kind of wonky with the work, maybe there's just some weird communication going on with work, things could be resolved very quickly because Jupiter is that benefic energy and it's sitting in that 6th house for you. Like I said, it's going to be there from May 13th through the 28th. We're getting a sneak peek of it as it moves in. It's only going to be at 2 degrees of Pisces until it retrogrades back into Aquarius, into your 5th house, which is a very fortunate house. It's a house of karmic rewards, fun, children, games, sports, romance. So it's a very fortunate thing, but you could be doing a review of those themes the latter half of the year. Mars, the planet of action, vitality, conflict, aggression, still sitting in Cancer. It's been in Cancer for a few weeks now. It's going to be there until June 11th for you. Libra, that is your 10th house. Cancer is 10 signs past Libra, and that has to do with career matters. And Mars is in its fall in career. So, you got to be careful here. There could be things coming up with women at work, women colleagues. There could be changes on that front, a fall of a female boss, so to speak. And the reason why I say that is because Cancer rules the mother, it deals with women, it deals with home and family. So, another interpretation of this could be, issues coming up with mom, reproduction. This could also point to things, home repairs, slip and falls. Just be really careful until June 11th. And cuts, things like that happening in the kitchen, for instance. That's a typical Mars and Cancer. I cut myself a couple times with a knife. And I'm a Cancer rising, so this will affect me more. But for you, this could happen into your career sector. So maybe things come up with motherly figures at work. That they could take a sudden, I don't say fall, but it's kind of like, trepidation of some type comes in there, or maybe just some irritation or aggression with women at work. So just be on the guard. That's going to be until June 11th, until it moves into Leo, which is a much different energy. But really the big news for the rest of the month is we're moving into eclipse season, and the eclipses are happening on the Gemini-Sagittarius axis. So again, for you, Libra, Gemini is your 9th house of higher education, the higher mind, your ideals and beliefs, education and philosophy. And Sagittarius is your 3rd house of communication, short distance travel, siblings. Things could come up with siblings during this time. Technology. So Mercury rules the 3rd house. Mercury is in Gemini right now. We're having these eclipses sitting in the Gemini Sagittarius axis. So big changes. Eclipses always mark big changes. They could be sudden. They could happen over the course of 6 months. But there are big changes happening on that front. So it could be things with siblings. It could be things with communications just really going to be off for you. Like I said, that it's going to be a lunar eclipse on May 26th. It's in your 3rd house of Sagittarius, and the 3rd house is ruled by Mercury, and Mercury is going retrograde in that 9th. So it has to do with higher beliefs, your philosophies, things that you hold dear could be challenged at this time, and it's time for realignment, reassessment, and things could change dramatically for you over the course of the next year when it just comes to communication, and maybe you're thinking about going back to school or anything to that effect could come up during this time. Not a ton happening in your love houses. Jupiter will move back into that 5th house of romance after July 28th, but that could be a review of romance, fun, children. It kind of depends on what's happening in your natal chart. Like I said, if you want a personal reading, my email's in the description box below. So that's what's happening for you for the rest of June, May. Those eclipses are going to be big, so just be aware of them. Like I said, the lunar eclipse is going to reveal something to you communication-wise on May 26th, and then 2 weeks after that, it's going to be the total solar eclipse in Gemini, and that's that 9th house of higher education, the higher mind. So keep those dates in mind. We're going to pull one card from the Angels deck this time around, and then 3 cards from the Tarot for you, 3 cards for them. Keep in mind these are general readings. The messages will not resonate with all of you. Take a look at your ascendant, your moon, and your Venus sign. Sometimes those will resonate more with you depending on what's happening in your natal chart. All right, Libra. Let's see what's going on. Your ruling planet Venus which is also the love planet, is in Gemini right now as well. So it's really pointing, to your personal beliefs and what do you believe is good for you in a relationship. You could be tested on that. Maybe there's something that you hold dearly, but the foundations of your beliefs in relationships, that's going to be questioned because Mercury's going to retrograde in that area too. So we'll see what happens. All right. This is for Libra. What are the messages for Libra? Trust. Trust. The situation is calling for you to have faith. Faith has to do with that ninth house. The ninth house is Gemini for you. You're going to be tested in some way. Your faith will be tested. Your beliefs will be tested in some way. And it's going to come in the form of communication with that Mercury going retrograde. So communication is going to be funky during that time, but universe is saying, trust divine timing, see what happens. All right, so 3 cards for you, 3 cards for them. See what's going on for you. Justice, this is your card. This has come out a lot in my readings this month. Judgment, wow. Okay, they're making some big decisions here. Knight of Swords, wow. This could be you. This is for them. The Tower. Page of Cups. 3 of Swords. Okay, so this is a heavy reading. That 8th house has to do a lot with intimacy, intimate matters. And it's not just about sex. It's about things that are intimate between couples. So right now, universe says you need to have some trust that things are going to work out the way they need to, that the eclipses are going to align you with your true destiny. And Venus today, I forgot to mention this, by the way, is aligned with the north node of the moon in Gemini. Again, it's pointing to these intimate matters. And whenever the north node of the moon in modern astrology is associated with destiny and your karmic path. And it's in your 8th house. So, things could come up on those intimate matters. Things could come up that were hidden feelings. And it looks like that is exactly what's happening for you right now. So right now, you have 2 really big cards come out right away. This is not atypical. So you have Justice, which is your card. This represents Libra. And this calls for the rebalancing of something in your own relationship. Perhaps things are kind of off right now. And you need to be rational about this. The swords always represent the rational mind. Swords represent air signs. So that's Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. We talked a lot about Gemini. So this is calling for you to be rational. You need to take, I don't often advise this, but you need to take the feelings out of it and you need to look at this from a rational point of view, whatever the situation is. And it looks like you are making a decision very quickly here. Judgment comes out. You're making big decisions that could change the course of the rest of the year. Maybe these are big decisions in love that change the rest of your life. I want to caution you here because the next card is the Knight of Swords. And the Knight of Swords can be a little compulsive, impulsive, rushing in, making decisions. But typically you like to balance out all of your decisions before they're made. That's why I'm cautioning you, Libra, to pause during this Mercury retrograde season, balance out your options, right? Here's the little scales of justice here before you start making any decisions, because this is a quick impulsive decision. Come rushing in, and sometimes that doesn't always work out. So this is advice. Be careful that you're weighing all of your options before you make any decisions, because on the other side, it looks like they're going to have a Tower moment. Uranus is represented of the Tower. Uranus rules electricity. And it's quite literally the lovers falling out of the tower. Uranus right now is sitting in your 7th house. No, sorry, it's your 8th house. It's in Taurus right now. you're gonna make a decision that creates a Tower moment. I'm just gonna say it. So you've either had enough of the situation, something's not balanced in the situation, you're making a decision maybe to move on, maybe it's something that just comes out of nowhere, and you're gonna make a decision to kind of shake things up. And the Tower is always a moment of realization that something's not built on a steady foundation. So the universe takes it out if it's not in alignment with you. The eclipses could do this. This could be Mercury retrograde. There's a lot of different factors that go into this, but they have the Page of Cups next. So this is gonna tug on the heartstrings. I think some of you are ending a relationship. It's just not working out. Because we have the Three of Swords on the other side. It's loss. And, 2021, generally speaking, is, and I've said this in other videos, we're dealing with the aftermath of 2020. And we're trying to figure out, what does this new future look like after one of the worst pandemics in human history? And sometimes that means we have to let some people go that aren't aligned with our destiny. And I think that's exactly what's happening here. There could be information coming out that creates this Tower moment, because typically speaking, you're not one to take rash action. You weigh all of your options before you make a decision, but it looks like there's some loss on this other side, and it looks like you might be ending a relationship. Let's see the outcome. Yeah. So be the Queen of Cups. This is your advice. Be tender when you do this. Be emotionally mature. Be as nurturing as you possibly can. Realize feelings are involved, but you need to be emotionally mature here and emotionally intelligent, because this is going to sting the other person. So, okay, that's a heavy reading. We're going through some heavy stuff. This is just kind of the way it is. And these eclipses are going to really shake things up. We're being realigned to where it is we need to go. And sometimes that means we have to drop people in our lives, but do it tenderly, Libra. All right. So I hope you enjoyed this reading. Drop me a comment if any of this is ringing true, and we'll talk to you next time. Take care.